Hi everyone, it's Louise here talking with my 144 topics, and I thought we'd come off the topic of connection because I've been talking about connection for about 17 weeks now, and we're on week 18 here. Because part of my 3 core words here that I work with, the first one is connection, and you can see we've already gone off on a bit of a tangent looking at connection of the body and nutrition, so we'll come back to that later. But the other 2 words that are pillars in my life is earth and then education. So part of this whole process here is about education, because that's why I'm a teacher, I'm a leader, I'm a healer. So that's part of my journey here. But also part of one of my core words is triads. One of my words in my triads is actually earth. So I'm just going to really unpack that word about earth today and just really introduce you to that and to why that is important to me. So the first reason, of course, is going to be because we live on Earth. We live on planet Earth. We choose to be here. And, it's actually really important that we start looking after the Earth, and we take that for granted. So, a story that could help give some understanding and shed some light on that for me is the fact that I lived for 18 years off the grid. I have off-the-grid children. I went out on a holiday once, and people were going, "Oh my God, you got off-the-grid kids." Yeah, they were off-the-grid kids. So we were raised, no electricity, no mains electricity, no running water, just totally off the grid. It was just so great. We had generators, we had solar power, we had tanks and dams and things like that, which was a lot of damn hard work and sometimes very, very hard to live with. But it was just so amazing, and the thing that was most amazing about that was how it really helped me to connect to the earth. So, for 18, when you don't have lights on at night outside in suburbia and you're totally in the dark, you're very aware of the moon phases, you're very aware of, we didn't have TV, I've never had mains TV, I've never watched the news or Channel 7 or Channel 10, that sort of stuff. So, I was relying on the ants to tell me what was happening with the weather. I was also relying on the sunsets and the sunrises to give me an indication of what the day was going to be like. So I really felt myself earthed in that space, very much so. I was travelling to work, teaching in the city in Perth, a couple of days a week, and because when you drive down the hills in Perth, and as soon as you drive down that hill, suddenly I'd be driving down into the city, and I could feel that energy, I could feel the vibration, I could feel different feelings happening on different days. There was always a different vibe happening and that sort of stuff. So it really did help me to earth, and the thing that it helped me to do was to come home to myself. Prior to that, I was bumming around the world doing whatever it was I was running away from, but it really helped me to ground myself and to earth myself into the earth. So really looking forward to getting back onto that lifestyle, and that's part of my journey at the moment, is to get back off the grid and to go back on the land, off the grid, because it was just such an amazing place to be. So part of the word that is important for me to earth is to respect that. So we were pretty self-sufficient. You'll be working in the garden, we'll be picking the food, within half an hour we'll be serving the food and we'll be eating the food. So we were pretty self-sufficient in a lot of ways. At certain stages there wasn't much food coming in, we could pretty much fend for ourselves, which was really great. And the other thing was respecting the earth. So I was not really using much sort of toxic imprint on the land as well. That we didn't have there was no rubbish collection, so we really had to be mindful of what rubbish we were using. All our grey water was being recycled and put into asparagus beds and things like that. So it's actually really quite easy to set yourself up and to not leave much of a footprint. So, when people come in and they flick on a switch or they just whack on the TV, there's not much consideration of that. People just very much tend to take it for granted. But when you live off the grid and you're very much connected to the earth like that, you're very much aware of the earth, of her cycles, the fact that the earth breathes out, she breathes in, she has her own cycles. So unpacking the word earth as well can also connect to grounding, and why it's really important for us to ground ourselves and to earth ourselves into the ground. And the best analogy here is about a tree. When we see ourselves putting our roots into the ground and we just visualize those roots growing into the ground, a tree will often have as much energy and space underneath it as it will above it. So, and having that balance with ourselves. My coach for 18 months said to me, you're one of the most spiritual people I know that's very earthed. So it's all very great having great connections to, whatever spiritual journey that you're on in your life, but it's really important to have your roots in the ground. Like, you've got to have your feet in the ground as much as having your head in the clouds, So that's very much about balance. Part of what I'm about is balancing in that, and earthing that is very important for that. So I'm very much for, being real, like getting real with this. The other thing that is important for me in regards to the word earth is that I am a master herbalist. I've been teaching herbal medicine for probably 20 years now. And I specialise in plant chemistry and herbal botany. And I love botany because we have this symbiotic relationship with plants, Our shit becomes their preciousness, and their preciousness, their shit becomes our preciousness. What we breathe out, they breathe in. What they breathe out, we breathe in. We eat them, and our wastes can support them. So we very much have this symbiotic relationship with them. Our chlorophyll, our hemoglobin and our chlorophyll are very similar. I'll unpack these and do more videos on them as well. So, we just have this amazing ability with Mother Nature and with the plants. And Mother Nature is also, Mother Earth is our record keeper, so she has all the knowledge there, but we've forgotten that. So part of my journey as a herbalist is really reconnecting to talking to the plants, because we've forgotten. We think that trial and error, but people were using these medicines and they've done it through trial and error. I tend to believe that it's something greater than that, in the fact that we used to be able to commune with nature and connect with nature and talk with them. And I've been doing Earth Church now for about 3 months, where often once a week, I aim to once a week, just really connect with some plants and just commune with them and talk with them, and I just get the most amazing inspiration from them. So we have this amazing knowledge base at our fingertips that we forget about. So again, that's getting earthed into that. So we've become very lost in this technological world, and the technology is amazing. Like, what's coming is really, really amazing. But it's also really good to balance that out and to earth that with, technology, and also earthing it with the earth. So, I think that's sort of enough to unpack for now about the word earth, because, without the earth, we're pretty much dead. We can take her for granted. So, I'm going to unpack this subject even more about the earth, about, how important it is to be looking after our earth. And there's lots that we can be doing about that, just to be mindful of what we do. So, litter's coming to mind, because I walk my dog down the beach every day. The dogs and I, we go for an early morning walk down the beach, and I'm always picking up rubbish, always picking up litter. So even if you can start by doing something, by becoming mindful about the fact that, we are on a living, breathing planet. Like, she breathes and she lives with us. So, it would be like just chucking garbage in your living room or something, and the space where you live, and after a while it's become pretty fucking messy. So, you wouldn't do that in your own house, in your own bedroom, in your own home. So how about just being a bit mindful about doing that, and taking that little bit of extra energy to pick up rubbish. Like, some days I pick up other people's dog shit, some days I pick up rubbish, because the more I start caring about my environment, the more that teaches other people to start caring about their environment. And it just makes, it is through the power of the people that we're going to have the changes here, by just allowing ourselves to be mindful and to do something something nice. So instead of friggin' whinging about it, just take that extra 5-10 seconds, or that extra 5-10 minutes to do something that's going to be really beautiful, and it's just going to start spreading that vibe and that feeling out there to the rest of the planet. So that's an introduction to my word earth and why it is important, and we'll just maybe unpack that a little bit more and talk about that. So from my 144 topics, if you want any herbal information, I've got a whole array of herbal courses online. I think there's 12 units that are online. So really, basically, it's an advanced diploma in herbal medicine, but it's just clarified, simple for home learning and education about herbs, to allow you to just just to be more empowered about the power of plants and how the power of plants can actually help you, and how you can work with that to know that you've got your own medicine cabinet if you need it, you've got your own support system if you need it, you've got a whole array of plants around us that have amazing abilities, and not just on a physical level, but also on a mental, emotional, spiritual level. They actually are there to help us and to support us, and they love us and accept us just the way we are. So until then, you have a fabulous week, and I will catch you next time. Seeing you always in happiness and health. Feel free to contact me. My links will be on the information below. Otherwise, you take care and have fun. See ya, bye.